Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast. That's what I said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders. Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filters. This broadcast starts now.
Check. You up?
I'm up.
I'm up too. What up, y'all? It's Sunday, which is very weird for me to be doing a podcast, but very weird for me to be doing a podcast on Sunday. But we're doing one on a Sunday because
why not?
Yeah, because I can. Anyway.
Because why not?
Yeah, right. So what's good, everybody? This is gonna be kind of different because the voice you hear right now is from me. Of course, y'all, it's me. But the co-host voice, y'all may recognize the voice, y'all may not recognize the voice. Either or, it is not Connie. It is somebody that is representing her. However, y'all may still recognize in the windows or whatever, but it is what it is. And the reason why is because of the nature of this podcast today is not going to be something that I want her to be, getting scrutinized for, which she shouldn't. But how everybody has an opinion. It's good until it starts thinking, and usually when it's thinking, it's because somebody has a problem with it. So whatever. And I'm not one to create conflict or cause unneeded attention, but I'm a respect her space and respect the fact that there's certain things that I'm gonna be talking about in this podcast that's not gonna line up with something that she wants to talk about, and I respect that. So into who where we been?
On hiatus.
Yeah, kind of like a hiatus. It's just, I think after the new year, needed to take not even just a serious mental break, but just a break in general, because you have to go back and think about, when you're doing something that you like doing or love doing, sometimes you have to take those mental health breaks and say, am I doing it for the right reason? Or am I just doing it? And some people just do stuff to do it. They don't do it because they have a passion behind it or the willpower to change, to willfully change people's lives. They just want to do something because somebody else is doing it. That ain't me. That ain't me. I've been doing this probably going on 8 years now. And I've always felt like, sometimes your voice is the bread and butter to a person's heart, especially if you can understand and hear and feel and have some type of, connection to that person when they're talking. Whereas some people just want to hear people talk because they think, they're talking directly to them, and somehow life changes happen, and they just, I can email him because he was talking about me specifically. He wasn't talking about you. He was talking about people like you. No, he was talking about me. I'm always listening to him. Look, the craziness has begun, and it has absolutely nothing to do with who's in the White House. It had everything to do with the fact people are going to always have this idea that they're going to speak from their mind. They're going to speak, and I'm going to speak from my heart. Now, are we hearing people from their heart when they talk about there's no such thing as a woke culture, or we got to take that woke culture behavior away because blah, blah, blah? Let me remind you, when you heard that specifically, may not necessarily be woke culture, but you've heard someone have a disagreement because of maybe how your friends talk to you, or what you're learning in school, or what you two people that you grew up with have an idea about, or even have an opinion about something. Somebody disagrees with that, and all of a sudden now you're a damn terrorist, or you're crazy and you got to take medication, when it's your thoughts, it's your ideas, it's your own, whoever, whatever it is, it's yours. But now we've gotten to this position where people don't like your position in life if you have a woke mindset. Jane Fonda actually had a quote, and she said it during her dang on. I think she was
At the SAG Award.
Yeah, it was a SAG Award. She was accepting her Lifetime Achievement Award. But she said during her acceptance speech, she said, "Make no mistake, empathy is not weak or woke. Woke, by the way, means you give a damn about other people." And ever since I heard her say that or whatever, I was just like, that in itself is exactly the problem. They don't want you to care about other people. So like the topic is like the war on being woke, but at the same time, it's like, who's really winning? It's not even about understanding your culture, understanding who you are as a person or as an individual. It's being okay with the fact that other people just really are not going to vibe with you or give a shit about where you from and who you are. A lot of people are just going to respect you and like you because of who you are as a person. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter, the demographics in which you came from. It doesn't matter about all that shit. Culturally, it shouldn't matter. But culturally, I think in certain people's culture, they're teaching people, stay away from them type of people, or stay away from them to those type of people.
Yeah, it's almost as if now everybody has their own remix on that word woke. And I mean, there's so much to it. it's intertwined into this humongous spider web. So I think we need to dive in and untangle it.
No, I think this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do, because I think people are misjudging or mismanaging the word woke.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. I think woke, regardless if it began in the black community or what community it originated from, woke is a culturally talked about situation in the black community, mainly. Ideally, I think mainly because of just understanding not just the setbacks or just the disdain that some people have with black people, but just the position of where you are culturally and understanding your positions in life. Certain things you're going to be able to do, whereas other things, if you're not aware of it, it's going to piss you off that you think you can do something without somebody looking at you a certain kind of way. It's going to piss you off, especially if you've never experienced it before. And some people's social dynamics when it comes to this word woke is vastly different than other culturally diversified people that have been around different people and been around different cultures and things of that nature. Their idea of what woke is going to be completely different than some people that are just closed-minded into thinking this is what this means and blah, 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 blah. People always want to attach a racial epithet to anything when it comes to being woke or just actually caring about people. And the sad reality is that I'm in so many different just groups of people that I served in the military with that it's not one direction as far as like a color of people or who these type of people are. You're never going to take away the actual dynamic of the person themselves, their culture and where they're from. You can't take that away from them. And why people are trying to is beyond me. It doesn't make sense. It's like you're trying to erase history to benefit the story that you're trying to write that you think is supposed to be okay. Okay, whatever. If that's going to make you feel any better about yourself, okay. But being woke does not mean that if you don't know what it is, then forget it. It's probably something stupid or something that they created just to put attention to themselves. No, it's something to bring attention to a certain group of people. Maybe it's the group of people that you ignore.
Yeah, and you have to understand the roots to it to grasp any of the significance in today. Period.
So do you think the word woke holds too much value in today's society? No, I think what happened is when a group of individuals, regardless if they're together or not, a group of certain individuals started talking or having woke conversations, as they say, or if you will say that, have these woke conversations, and people started to do one or two things, because this is what society does. If it's a big thing booming, rather it's conversation or whatever, you're going to find a way in that conversation, regardless if you agree with it or not. If it sounds good, that's something that you can ride with. Like I said, you're going to do one or two things. Either you're going to ride the wave and get your understanding through those conversations, or you're just going to get just enough jargon so that when people have these conversations, you can continue these conversations because you know the jargon. So that's the only group of people that's out there. Either you agree with it or you agree with it to a certain extent where you can continue a conversation. Because if you don't agree with it, you're not even paying attention to it any damn way.
Right.
So either you using it to your benefit or you just using it as a conversational piece to keep a conversation moving so you can be included into the who's who in conversation. Because that's what people do on social media anyway. Because there's a lot of group of people that will have conversations with you, ain't never been, ain't never touched, ain't never seen, ain't never co-collaborated, ain't never done none of this shit with anything, but they want to be part of the conversation because you're in the conversation with the who's who. They just want to be there so they can know the jargon, so they can continue the conversation with other people from basically your words. I'm not saying that that's just a thing that, what it is. Exactly. Or use it as a derogatory term. Exactly. You're absolutely right. But see, there's no social togetherness when you hear the word woke, because all one person has to do is show that it's like Mario said, it's derogatory or something's wrong with it. When the word itself, woke, just means awareness. I mean, you want to read that comment? I mean,
80% of people using woke out there pronouns don't even wash their ass. Honestly, they just saying shit.
He said probably not pronoun. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he's right. Most people out here that
probably don't.
I mean,
yeah, not pronouns. My bad.
I mean, most of the people don't wash their ass, but that's not the point. Mm-hmm. I put a post up. We're not gonna go there. But a lot of it. I mean, a lot of that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, because you gotta really think about it. A lot of this, a spiritual awareness and people becoming woke, people becoming more aware of where they're from and, who they are, who they're not. People saying that, that there's different galaxies and they mimic cartoons and like it's crazy to even think about how people think nowadays, especially when it comes to just a society of people trying to come together and figure out the truth. Not saying that all of what they say is the truth or lies or whatever, but I mean, look at Waco. I mean, let's not have that conversation, right? Mm. Those are a bunch of woke ass people, weren't they? No. They literally set the whole compound on fire. I think I put it like this. Some black people could just, I ain't gonna even say some black people, it's not even some. Black people can't have shit. I'm just gonna say it. Irregardless of what people may think as derogatory or bad, black people can't have shit. So what a group of black people or a group of non-colored people, regardless of who they are, created this societal understanding of being woke culturally. To me, I would rather be woke as the black man that I am, knowing where I can step my foot into and not into, than to just be doing shit because I feel like because I'm black, I'm going to do this. You could be arrogant as all you day you want. You could be as arrogant as you want. And say, ain't nobody going to do shit to me. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to me. Until you pull up to that one town you don't know shit about and you have that same mentality and somebody lifts your ass up to Jesus. All because you think you're untouchable. No, it's called common sense. It's called awareness. You're in the United States of America. Ain't shit here united. Ain't nothing about here united. You got to do economic blackouts to where people are going live in Walmarts and it ain't nobody in there but the employees and maybe one or two people. It's like you got to do economic blackouts to show your stance on how society don't stand next to you. So why should we stand next to them? And it's like the only time that they want us to stand next to each other is when a tragedy happens. You had the fires in LA. You had the hurricane that went up through Carolinas and everything. You had all this snow that happened during the wintertime. It's like you have all these things that happen, natural disasters, they say. And when a community needs to come together, what happens? The community comes together. They ain't judging about who you are and what you look like, if you woke or not.
Right.
They all understand we all going through this shit together. That's being woke. You are aware of your surroundings. You know what's going on. Do you need food? Do you need food? You know somebody needs food? Take this food to them since you know where they at. You need food? It's like they're all there to make sure everybody can eat, be sheltered, and their family's taken care of. After that, they don't think about that shit.
Right. They think about the next steps.
He's a black man in his car. He looked like he arguing with his drug dealer. Call the police.
Huh?
It's like, I feel threatened. There's a black man in his car and he's looking like he's having an argument, like he's planning a shootout. It's like, bitch, shut up.
Like, were you in the car? Do you know
I just lost $5,000 in crypto and your bitch ass is worrying about somebody getting their purse snatched. Exactly. We have, and that's the perfect quote. We ain't been unified since social media showed us how divided we are.
Yeah, because before social media, we didn't know how divided we were.
I'm gonna put it to you like this:
I'm just being real.
I didn't know how divided this world was until I'm not gonna lie. When I was in the military, when I was in Kansas City, I kind of knew, but you grow up around it. When you grow up, you're growing up where your parents put you at. Exactly. It's like, think before MySpace and Facebook. We didn't have all this, I hate you, this, and I hate that. It was like people loved each other because they had SpongeBob iced out on their MySpace page. It was like, that was it. Now people hating on you because you got on red bottoms. Or they hating on you because they know you ain't got a job, but you always got a dude that got money. It's like they always hating on you on the come up, but they forget that both y'all was down here. We both was down here. And then when you came up, it's only one person hating on your come up. That person that didn't come up with you. That's being woke. Y'all sitting here worrying about who's your oppressor. Guess what? You the oppressed one. You oppressing yourself. We put so much down on other black men and black women, or let's not even put this as a color barrier. Let's just say it. We put ourselves down as people, and then when someone else is doing it or calling us out on our shit, we got a problem about it. But it's okay for me to call somebody out on their shit, but they can't call me out on my shit.
Wow. That's sad, Mario. So a listener had stated that they got called a bigot because they're not in the streets protesting. He's at home minding his business.
Bro.
That's sad. That's really sad.
Bro.
And I'm sorry that happened to you.
The sad part about that whole thing is the fact that I know Mario is just like me. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. You mad because I'm not doing what you doing? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I know who it is. It's like they want you to do what they're doing without giving you the insight on their actual life. These are some miserable ass people, like miserable. to be worrying about why I'm not doing what you're doing. And then it's the automatic attack on your own people. The same people they want you to do shit with. The same people they want you to support. The same people that want you to do all these things and support your people. These are the same ones talking shit behind your back. I can't be with you because you wear them kind of clothes and, you know, you just look broke. Do you have a job? No, but people pay for me. Pay for you to do what? Eventually that shit gonna get old and tired.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do that prevents you from doing any kind of work? And then even if you don't want to work and you want to put your ideas on paper or you want to run a business, that still requires work, bro. That still requires work, sis. So why are you hating on the people that's just trying to work and trying to do all these things so that their family can have better? Why you sitting around here looking for the richest one in the pool and ain't doing shit, but just looking? I'm confused. Please help me understand this. You want a society of people to get better, but you just sitting there looking? What are you looking for? It's like you ain't looking to help your community, but you looking for somebody to take care of you. I'm gonna let that marinate.
Wow.
I'm gonna let that marinate because that don't make no kind of sense to me.
No, not even.
And I even like actually tried to like have a conversation and write it down and be structured. Why? That ain't me. That ain't never been me. Take instructions from somebody on how to talk and how to speak on my podcast? Until there's a salary being paid and y'all not playing around with ideas of who y'all want to have these conversations with and who's not scared to have this conversation and say what's on their mind and articulate certain things and bring people on and interview them, until y'all stop trying to control the narrative and just let people talk from their fucking heart on experiences that's been going on. So you ain't got to doctor up how the hell they got to do this and how the hell they got to do this. No, let them people do what they got to do. Why does people have to be like in Hollywood making millions of dollars talking the same shit that most of us all talk about, but they just have the platform to do it, and it's only going to be centered around a certain group of people that vibe with them people or like them people that's going to pay attention to that. But they, guess what? They putting out great information, but it's just not up your wheelhouse because, you know, it's not your demographic and they cuss too much. They might say this too much. They might say that too much. And it's like you attach yourself to all the negative things that you're not willing to pay attention to, but you ain't paying attention to the shit you need to be doing in your life. You paying too much attention to what people out here doing, then you gotta be, oh, well, I don't rock with them. You know, people out here trying to take souls like The Rock, like for real. Like The Root, you could be my champion.
Oh my God. And Mario, just for the record, I woke up out of a dead sleep to that last night.
She woke up out of a dead sleep, but I'm sitting there
and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I'm screaming the whole time. I'm like, John Cena about to turn. She's like, stop waking me up. John Cena about to turn. As soon as he turned.
No, I woke up to...
She woke up to Cody telling The Rock
to F off.
To F off. And
I was like, yo.
She was asleep by the time John Cena kicked Cody.
I was still awake.
Oh, you were still awake? I thought you still had one eye open, which means you're still not awake.
Yes, I did. I have one eye open.
But anyway, which means she's still not awake. So yeah, that was definitely some very entertaining. Actually, probably one of the best PLEs. And it all downhill from here. I mean, they started off 2025 kind of good, and I mean, but I still think AEW puts out better matches because they put more matches out there. But storytelling and the entertainment, I have to give it to WWE. I mean, yeah. But this ain't what this is about.
I was just gonna say we digressed for a moment. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the commercial. I was supposed to have commercial breaks in here. You were supposed to have one. What was one of yours was about we was just doing funny bits about being woke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before we dive any deeper,
that's mine. I do it. I can do it. That's the one. It was like one commercial. You gotta do the one that's yours. But mine was like, let's before we take a deeper dive into this conversation, let's pay some bills. This episode is brought to you by Stay Woke Coffee, keeping you conscious and caffeinated, because in today's world you need both. Stay woke, folks. No, fuck that. Anyway,
I'm so done.
What was one of yours?
Need a break from all the noise? Try Unwoke Yoga, where the only thing we're stretching is your body, not your beliefs. Find your peace without the politics. Namaste.
I'm so done. I'm so done. That was, that was an asshole moment. So,
hey,
the last one before we get up out of here is tired of the same old news? Turn into Woke or Joke, the game show where, you guess, if the headlines are real social justice movements or just plain ridiculous. And, I'm sure it's harder than you think, because most people pay more attention to what's going on social media than they would, what's actual news, woke news. Anyway, these are all funny commercials, y'all. These ain't real. There's an opportunity to actually be able to pay attention to the way society and the way media directs and drives the conversations that go on in our own households, and want us to be able to know what they put out, vice what's actually going on.
Right.
I think, and this is just me. It could be just anybody's opinion, but that's what I said. I think the whole thing with being woke is not necessarily, it's not a bad thing, and it's not something that people would think of as good, because people want to argue with you about something. They always want to have a debate. People want to make you feel some type of way when they don't like you as a person, when they don't know you. And it might be because of where you're from. It might be because of, being black. It might be because of their experience or non-experience or what the TV is showing them. But people are being taught to hate you.
Yeah.
People are being taught to not be awoke to the exact things that people need to be woke from. And it's funny because I've had several conversations on this podcast talking about being aware financially as well as, mentally and everything else. And one of the things I think that people are taking for granted is the idea of being woke. You can pick and choose who you want to be entertained by, who you want to provide you with a motivational thought or, whatever. But what you can't do is be that type of person all the time. Meaning, you can't just be this person just because you like this and you like that, so you're going to keep doing the same thing these people do because that's the trending thing to do. But do you really like that?
Right. Do you be the follower, or do you step out on your own and be your own leader and do what you want to do?
Absolutely.
It's okay to follow sometimes, but are you following for the right reasons?
Right. So the People's Union of the United States of America basically did this with a 24-hour consumer blackout, which is the economic blackout that happened February 28th. And there's several more that's planned out. Several more.
Wow.
I'm not going to give you the dates, and I do have them. The next one, I can tell you when the next one's going to be, is the Amazon boycott. And then they're going to have, there's a lot. So there's a lot. They got a Walmart. It's a lot. So anyway, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm sure you already know the dates, but I just think that we're in for a bumpy ride if people are not aware of change. And some of the change that's happening is something that we were programmed to believe was a good thing. I'm not saying that I'm for this person. I'm not saying that I'm completely against this person. What I am saying is that, excuse me, I understand how government works. I understand how policy works. What I also understand is the difference between hate and someone that doesn't hate you. Irregardless if you hate me or not, I'm never going to wish bad intentions on you or anything that you touch. However, if that involves my family, I would not piss on you if it was on fire. Just going to throw that out there. We're in for a bumpy road, y'all. I just want y'all to be aware of certain things that may or may not be happening. One of those things is are you saving money the right way? I'm not gonna go into that conversation because that's a different podcast. Are you prepared to not only take care of the essentials that need to be taken care of, but are you actually saving because you don't know what's going to happen? Do you have enough? Are there people out there probably are going to struggle to the point where they're not going to have enough, and are you prepared to be that friend to them to help them get along so they can get back on their feet? Probably not. Most people will sit there and be like, "Oh, should have had their shit together like I did," which some people don't think like you. But
yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. You got anything for the people before we get up out of here?
The only thing I can say is continue to educate yourself. Be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of where you are. Stay engaged. Support your people. It doesn't matter what beliefs they have. You should still be supporting them regardless. Because at one point, they were your people. They're your friends. They're your family, whatever. And you can't just turn your back on them. We have to keep these conversations going. And we need to work together to just, I don't know. It's hard to put into words the continuation that we need to do to remain strong and steadfast in what we believe in. That, I'm out.
All right.
Peace.
So, with that being said, y'all, we out of here, man. I appreciate y'all joining us for another episode. Make sure y'all stay tapped in and tune in to all the social media platforms or that you can listen to and hear. That's What I Said podcast. And we will make sure to bring back the flavor and the energy that we always have brought. Because that's what I said. We up out of here, y'all. Peace.
Thanks for listening to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders. Make sure to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.